The purpose of this video is to quickly give an overview of many of the symbols that show up in people's dreams, from houses to food to your car. Other videos on our channel go into much greater depth on these symbols, but our focus in this video is to get you familiar with a group of symbols that will come up a lot. Before we start going through the symbols, we should recap the most fundamental rule about dream interpretation. Message dreams work like a language. In this language, every vocabulary word in your dream, known as a dream symbol, carries a universal meaning as well as a personal meaning. This video is focused on the universal meanings of these common symbols that we all share. When one of these common symbols shows up in a dream, start by considering the meaning that is mentioned in this video. Then pause to identify the particular significance it has for you. Here's an example of this process. If I'm dreaming of a bowl of Lucky Charms cereal, because it's a food, the universal meaning has to do with knowledge. But because of eating it for breakfast during my childhood, the bowl of Lucky Charms has an intensely nostalgic significance for me. So its likely significance would be dwelling on the past too much, remembering bright moments from childhood instead of moving forward in my life. The fact that it's not very nutritious would support the interpretation that this source of knowledge is not very healthy for me. Remember to always combine the personal significance with the universal when it comes to the symbols in your dreams. Along the way, several relevant videos and podcasts from DreamSpeak will be mentioned in case you'd like to learn how to better work with a particular symbol. As a special bonus for watching to the end, we're going to explain 3 of the most puzzling and fascinating symbols in dreams: having sex, going to the bathroom, and dreaming of your teeth falling out. Stay tuned. The first symbol we're going to address today is buildings. We'll show an icon to represent the symbols we've covered on the right side of your screen. Indoor spaces in dreams represent states of mind. Whenever you're indoors in a dream, it will be reflective of a state of mind. Let's keep track of the ideas we're discussing on the left side of your screen. When it comes to office buildings like these, the mindset will relate to being productive because they're places of work. When the indoor space is a house, which is one of the most common dream symbols of all, the mindset will be connected to the type of house you're in. If it's a very messy house, it will mean there's a messy mindset that you're experiencing. If it's a large, fancy house, it could indicate a mindset of abundance. If it's your own home, it will indicate the mindset that you use the most often, and the mindset that you return to when you need to recenter yourself. It will be a message about the most common way in which you look at the world. This house has stories. The various stories each have to do with different states of consciousness. And the higher the story, the higher the state of consciousness. If you're on the ground floor, it's a message about your waking state of consciousness. If you're on the second floor, the message will be about a time recently that you were in a state of consciousness that was slightly elevated, perhaps being more objective about a situation, or bringing keen insight to bear in your life. And if you're in the attic, or even standing on the roof, you're in a highly elevated state of consciousness. You're getting close to your own sense of what divinity is and seeing your own deepest value and dignity as a human being. On the other hand, if you're in the basement, you're in your unconscious mind. You're getting a message about something that you lack awareness of. Modes of transportation show up all the time in our dreams. What they mean will vary depending on the type of transportation that you're using. For example, a car indicates that you're using your physical body. It's a message about the way that you most commonly navigate your life experience. That's why sometimes injuries or illnesses can be indicated by a car accident or by taking your car into the shop. A boat, on the other hand, is going to tie to the symbol of water. Water symbolizes your emotional response to your waking life experience. And because a boat travels on water, it's going to be a form of transportation indicating how your emotional life is going at that time. You're taking an emotional journey. You're tuned into your emotional state, and it's important at that moment to pay attention to your emotions. As in this image of stormy seas, you might see a boat traveling on restless, choppy water, and that will let you know that in your emotional life, you're currently experiencing a lot of ups and downs. Epic journeys can occur on boats, and we can be taken on epic journeys by our emotions. Being alive is an adventure with many twists and turns and ups and downs. In many ways, your emotions carry you along through life because emotions are the way you most immediately respond to your world. As an important note, when you notice that you're having a lot of difficulties or challenges in your life, you might be quick to think that the stormy sea indicates those events. And it does, but more precisely, it is talking to you about your responses to those events and the way that those events are impacting your emotional state. Dreams only speak to us about the things in life that we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Because travel by plane implies flight through the air, it's important to understand what air in a dream symbolizes. Air and wind in a dream indicate your thoughts. When there's restless or turbulent thoughts, you might experience turbulence on a plane ride. Plane flights can also be thought of as opportunities in life. Whatever the case, traveling by plane is going to indicate that you're getting a message about the thought realm, another important way in which you experience the world. Your thoughts and reasoning are an essential part of the human experience, so you will often have dreams about taking journeys involving your thoughts. What makes trains different from other modes of travel in dreams is that they travel on a straight track. When you dream of traveling by train, the basic message is that you're headed in a definite direction. The purpose of this message may be to help you recognize what direction that is. In the context of a big dream, see our video on that topic, the track of a train may sometimes be defined by divinity or grace or fate, the sense of your life's purpose. A bicycle is all about balance. When you dream about a bicycle, it means that the way you're using your willpower at this time is creating healthy forward movement in your life. Unless your bicycle is unstable, then it could be showing you something in your life is out of balance. The next common symbol that we'd like to talk about after transportation is plants. We are constantly surrounded by plants, perhaps in nature or by houseplants or in city parks. In the same way that plants are fundamental to your waking life experience, plants are a fundamental symbol in your dreams. They tie back to the concept of tri-mind, the idea that your mind is best understood as made up of three parts: the conscious mind, below that, the subconscious mind, and at the deepest part of who we are, the superconscious mind. For a detailed explanation of this important topic, see our video, What Do People Mean in Dreams? In order to understand what plants of all kinds mean in a dream, it's necessary to understand the way that Dreamspeak looks at the mind and its connection to the world. We believe that people have free will and that human beings can create. The most basic creative force within us is the power of thinking. Every great invention in the world and every great act has been preceded by a thought. When we have a thought, it occurs in our conscious mind, and you're free to shape that thought with your reasoning power and your imagination. Once we set a thought in motion, it draws its power from the subconscious part of our mind, just like a plant draws nutrients from the soil. Soil is pure potential, much like your subconscious mind. So when soil is important in a dream, it's a message about your subconscious. When you see a seed planted in a dream, that seed is like a conscious thought on the part of the dreamer. The subconscious contributes the energy, the dreamer contributes the vision, and if the thought receives the nourishment that it needs from you and the other forces in the world around you, it will sprout, and eventually it will grow into a full-fledged plant, or even a tree. What plants symbolize is a life experience that has come forward from your application of willpower. Notice that plants are abundant in our lives, just like our willpower and the experiences we have as a result. We are surrounded by the consequences of our thoughts. If you dream of a garden, it's a clear sign that you're applying willpower in an organized way to bring forth something that can nourish and support your life. The next symbol we will address is animals. Animals in a dream symbolize habits, many different kinds of habits. For an in-depth discussion of this, watch our video, Are Some Dreams More Important Than Others? Weapons of all kinds appear in dreams, but most commonly firearms, since they're what you're used to seeing in the world around you and in the media. They symbolize tools for change. This surprising meaning derives from the fact that death in a dream does not symbolize an end, but merely a change taking place within us. Causing the death of an aspect with a weapon implies that you're using willpower to create change. These deaths can vary greatly, and the circumstances of the death tells us a lot about the change that's taking place within us. Acts of violence are a common occurrence in dreams. They indicate that you're having destructive or harmful thoughts. This ties directly into the symbol of weapons or guns in a dream. If you kill an aspect of yourself violently with a gun, that would indicate that you have unbalanced thinking or harmful thoughts which are causing a change within you that you may not find desirable. Sometimes change doesn't involve violence. The aspect may be ready to die. This kind of experience in a dream would indicate that the change is taking place smoothly, and it might be to your benefit. However, when violence is involved, it will always indicate destructive or harmful thinking. Clothing or getting dressed is a very common symbol in dreams. Clothing has everything to do with self-expression. How are you showing up in the world around you? Is this the way that you want to show up? Changing clothes can indicate that you're changing attitudes or approaches to how you're expressing yourself with others. Jewelry in a dream similarly relates to your self-expression, but because of the rarity and expense of gems and other precious metals, it can give you messages about what you value. When you make an effort to bring your values forward into your life, you're putting your values on display, and that may be symbolized as putting on jewelry. Cell phones are increasingly appearing in our dreams as a symbol. They're a paradox. While they symbolize your ability to communicate with the various aspects within you, at the same time, they symbolize your struggles with a sense of inner alienation from parts of yourself brought on by modern living. Numbers are an interesting topic in dreams. Numbers of things in dreams are always worth paying attention to, and sometimes actual numbers will show up, as amounts of money, numbers that are written down, or numbers on a clock. This topic ties to numerology. There are several schools of thought as to how numbers carry energy into the world. We'd love to hear more about the kind of numerology that you use and the way you relate to numbers. Each of these personal meanings will play a part in interpreting numbers in your dreams. The numerology that we use here at DreamSpeak is quite straightforward and practical. For instance, the number 1 symbolizes unity, while the number 2 symbolizes duality. In other forms, it might represent difference or diversity. For a more in-depth exploration of numbers, listen to our podcast episode about the White Containment Tower. In the Behind the Dreams segment in that episode, we explore numerology in greater depth. Just like in waking life, water in dreams is life-giving and essential to our lived experience. It has a dual significance. Water indicates your conscious life experiences, the things that you're living through in your day-to-day life, while at the same time indicating your emotional responses to those experiences. If you pay close attention to your lived experience while awake, you'll notice what you think of as emotions are the most immediate kind of feedback that you get in many situations. The feelings and sensations in your body that you experience in instant response to stimulants in your environment. It's a complex topic, but a rich and important one. For now, the most important thing is to notice that your emotions are an entire sphere of your life, and you experience the entire world through your emotions at the same time that you experience it through your thoughts, at the same time that you experience it through what you see, and so on. Even neutrality or indifference is a subtle emotional reaction, so you're always experiencing your emotions, just like water is always present around us and within us. Classrooms and schools are a common setting in a dream. These are mindsets for learning. Depending on the kind of classroom, the learning may be positive and productive for you, or it may not be so productive. It may also give you messages about the way that you're relating to your learning, whether you're taking your learning opportunities or whether you're letting them pass you by. Alcohol and drugs in a dream have a shared significance. They indicate that you're surrendering your willpower, the most fundamental quality that makes you human. One of the purposes in life is to use willpower towards productive and wholesome ends in the pursuit of bringing about those things which you wish to see in the world. As a symbol, alcohol and drugs give you the message that you're curtailing that process, that something in your life is interfering with your free will, that decisions you're making are less than wholesome for your purpose in life. Music is such a fundamental part of life. Similarly, the experience of harmony within yourself is a fundamental part of life. When you have inner harmony, everything in your life goes well, and you take setbacks in stride. When you're lacking inner harmony, your thoughts are conflicting with your actions, and it takes away from your happiness. Music and dreams will give you messages about the state of harmony within you. Is there harmony, or is there cacophony? You may be making music, which would mean you're using your willpower to create greater harmony within you. You may be performing music for an audience, which would mean that you're making progress, creating more inner harmony in your life, as you expose many aspects of yourself to greater harmony. Police show up in your dreams when you need to make discipline a priority in your life. When something in your life is getting out of control, you might have a dream that contains police, because these are parts of who you are that step forward to set boundaries for you and keep you from making a careless decision or thinking negatively. They remind you that your life has value, dignity, and importance, and that you need to respect yourself and make different choices. Doctors show up in your dreams when you are engaged in a process of healing, or you need to engage with your healing. Generally, they represent healing that's currently taking place so that you can become aware of it and support that process. Both police and doctors are authority figures in our world. Authority figures represent a special kind of aspect called a superconscious aspect. See our video called "What Do People Mean in Dreams?" In the final section of the video, we discuss how to interpret superconscious aspects and their profound philosophical implications. The directions of left and right have an interesting significance. When something is moving leftward, or you make a left turn, it means that you're moving away from your life path, or making a decision that's questionable. When the direction of the right is invoked, or you turn to the right, or you choose to move rightward, that's a message for you that you're making a decision that's sound, or that you're on the right track that's going to be the best for you overall. Food in a dream symbolizes knowledge. Pay attention to whether the food is nourishing or highly processed. For instance, if the food was very spicy, that might mean that this source of knowledge is making you agitated or angry. If the food was served cold, but it should be hot, that might indicate that the source of knowledge that you're partaking in is leaving you cold, metaphorically. It's taking energy instead of giving it. It's holding you back. If you find that the food is delicious, that would imply that the source of knowledge is nourishing for you, and it stimulates you both intellectually and emotionally. When you get a message like that, continue reinforcing the knowledge that you're gaining in your life. Continue studying and continue learning, because you're benefiting from it. While we're talking about food, let's get to our first bonus. What the heck does it mean when you have that dream where your teeth fall out? Have you ever had that dream? I used to have that dream, and I was trying to put my teeth back in. The secret to understanding this dream lies in the act of chewing. In waking life, your teeth allow you to grind food small enough to begin the process of digestion. Teeth in dreams have a similar processing function. You need to process the experiences that you have so that they can become meaningful knowledge for your future use, just like digesting food becomes energy for your body. This has interesting implications in the philosophy of dreaming, because it implies that learning is an activity that has real and lasting value, not an idle pastime or a gateway to earning a living, but an essential part of being human. When your teeth are falling out in a dream, the message is that you're having a lot of trouble processing your experiences. If you feel confident that new teeth are going to grow in, This message may mean that you've outgrown your old ways of processing things in life. On to the next bonus. Why do we use the bathroom in dreams? When you use the bathroom in a dream, it symbolizes that you're letting go of things that are no longer useful for you. If you have a regular spiritual practice in your life, say prayer, meditation, or yoga, this may prompt dreams of going to the bathroom because these practices help you to contextualize experiences you've had in the past so you can move on. Just like going to the bathroom is a bodily function in waking life, letting go of past experiences in a healthy way that includes a sense of closure is a core function of your inner life. And things like that are bound to show up in your dreams from time to time. Before we get to the last bonus, we need to share a few more symbols that will help you to understand it. The different ages of aspects in your dreams indicate the degree to which they are making an impact on your waking life at this time. If there's a very young aspect like a toddler or a child, that aspect of you is still just learning and developing. If there's an aspect that is an adult, that aspect is productively contributing to your waking life. If you see an aspect that is elderly, they may be imparting wisdom to you. And if you see an aspect that is very old and nearing death, it's giving you a message that this aspect is about to change. For more insight into what the people in your dreams mean, watch our video on this topic. Then what do babies mean in a dream? Babies are new ideas or new aspects in your life. They've come about through a process of creation, just like babies are born in waking life. They are not making a productive contribution to your life at this time. They are all about potential. They symbolize that there is potential in the particular idea that they're connected to, and you have to make a choice to nurture that and bring it along if it's going to change your life down the road. So let's finish on a high note. Why not? Sex in dreams. What does it mean? Well, a baby in waking life comes from a process of intimate connection. Similarly, in a dream, new aspects of ourselves come from a process of intimate connection that is internalized. It's no longer between two people. It's just within yourself, based on a strong connection and commitment between an aspect of your conscious mind where you conceive an idea and your subconscious mind that supports the growth of your idea, just like a pregnancy. Sexual intercourse in a dream means that you're using your willpower to create something. Dream pregnancies indicate that there's an idea of importance that's taking shape. In a dream, time works differently, so pregnancies could be very short. You can expect new life experiences to emerge. You can find out a lot about what you've been creating by interpreting the particular sexual situation that you find yourself in. Sex in dreams is never about your fantasies of having intercourse with certain people. It shouldn't be taken as a sign of infidelity or even wavering within a relationship. What it does mean, however, is that you're creating something in your life related to the personality traits that you see and the dream aspect that you've been intimate with. You're creating with the parts of your own personality that they remind you of. Sex in dreams definitely does relate to change. Sometimes, even the notion of change can be intimidating to your intimate partner. So when sexuality occurs in a dream, make sure to have a frank discussion with the people around you that you're connected with on that level. Help them to understand that it's just about new ideas emerging in your life, and then analyze the dream together to come to some understanding of what those ideas might be. Thank you for learning with us today on DreamSpeak. If you got value from this video, please click the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. Using this video, you can commit some of the most common symbols in dreams to memory. Building a working vocabulary will deepen your insight into every dream you have. A good video to watch next would be our video about what people mean in dreams, since learning about people is the perfect complement to learning the common symbols. We would love to hear feedback from you. Stay curious and ask your questions below. Our socials are in the description. You can submit a dream at dreamspeak.us. Thank you so much for watching, and keep dreaming.